Days of
I
profiting
said
from
1 to 2
our
minutes.
destroying our lives are numbered.
You're going to be
Yes.
asked to leave the auditorium.
Security, leave it for a minute.
On account of your fossil fuel production in the Niger Delta in Nigeria, the life expectancy there is currently only between 41 and 46 years of age. That's younger than most of the people in this room today. How can you be comfortable profiting from limiting the lives of millions of people? The money that lines your pockets and allows you to comfortably grow old prevents that same dignity for people in the Niger Delta. In the 70 years where you made stupendous profits for your shareholders, you transformed the Niger Delta into the most polluted place on earth, and its people among the poorest and most poisoned. In that period, your company has been complicit in flaring gas non-stop at 178 flare points all over the Niger Delta, emitting millions of tons of CO2 yearly and poisoning over 40 million people with cancer and other respiratory illnesses. Several reputable studies have established that methane, carbon dioxide and other chemicals from flared gas poison people with cancer, respiratory illnesses, birth defects and diseases of the skin. When it rains, the poisonous chemicals in the atmosphere return to further pollute the soil and rivers, reducing farm fertility and killing fishes. Several scientific reports, including those from the United Nations Environment Programme, have been published, all of them indicting you for massive pollution and poisoning. They have confirmed that your activities have led directly to major health risks and livelihood losses. This is not speculation, these are facts. But it feels important now to share a human story. Our friend's only water source, a hand-dug well, has produced nothing but crude oil for 3 years. In 1 year alone, our friend unexpectedly lost his sister, his father, and his baby niece. Up until now, Shell has refused to accept that its ruptured pipe is the source of the pollution that has contaminated the drinking water of the entire community.
I'm sorry, could you maybe ask a question? I said 1 to 2 minutes. I've already given you 3 or 4. Sorry, could you ask a question?
Thank you. Heartbreakingly, this is the reality for countless families as a result of your pollution. Who will fix the health of millions of people you have poisoned? For years, you have pushed back against the legal case from the Igale and Bile communities, against you for your decades and decades of pollution. The Igale and Bile communities are many of hundreds of communities whose livelihoods have been devastated by Shell and who are now suing Shell this year in the UK courts for a violation of their health and for their right to health and a clean environment. It's convenient that this case coincides with you selling off your onshore oil assets to shadow consortiums that were conveniently only set up recently. Now that the case can be heard in the UK courts, we know that you are rushing to sell off your assets to avoid accountability. You're attempting to walk away from 7 decades of reckless oil extraction and its attendant ecological health and livelihood impacts. As you always have, you're attempting to avoid justice and reparations.
Okay, we've got your
we
question.
will not let you do that. You will not get away with the destruction of our communities. People across the world are rising up against the Delta and against Shell.
I said 1 to 2 minutes.
Your days of profiting from our destroying our lives are numbered.
You're going to be asked to leave the auditorium.
I've heard your question.
Other people have had more time than me to ask
Can you please go
questions.
this way, please? Thank you.
Just finish your question.
Leave it for a minute. Security, leave it for a minute. Leave it for a minute. No. Please leave it for a minute. Leave it for a minute. Could you maybe turn and face the? Could you face the people who you're asking the question?
Yes, I can.
And I think you've asked your question.
I haven't asked my question. My question is, who will clean up nearly 70 years' worth of oil spills and gas flaring in the Niger Delta? Who will fix the health of indigenous people? Who will restore their livelihood?
Okay, thank you.
I just want you to know that your days of profiting off our lives are numbered.
Right. Okay.
And we will end your profits. We will end your company. You do not deserve to continue profiting from us.